Bitcoin. Yeah, it's your boy Crypto Blood, and welcome to another double spending episode. This is coming from my man Rice Crypto, his new show called The Rice Report. I want you guys to check this conversation out. We had a great one. I discussed the digital dollar, CBDCs, and how this new FedNow system is going to really put a damper on a lot of people's perceptions of cryptos and how efficient they are. I want you guys to definitely check this out. Give me your feedback in the comments below, and definitely make sure you subscribe to Rice Crypto's channel. He's a good friend of mine. So enjoy the show. Holla!
I'm the fucking John Rambo. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. Like I said, this is the first official episode of The Rice Report. The Rice Report is where I'm covering economic and political related topics. And on today's first official episode, I have my boy Crypto Blood joining me in the house. What's going
Rice
on, CB?
Crypto! What's up, man? I'm glad to be the first guest. I'm honored.
Well, dude, I had to have you on because I look at you and as far as in the cryptocurrency blockchain space, as a content creator, I kind of look at you as someone who's on each other's levels as far as our knowledge of economics. And, you know, I mean, we could talk about a lot of different things as we were talking beforehand.
Right.
And I feel like no matter what we're talking about, we're going to add value because we have a lot of common things.
We got to have those
combos.
We got to have those conversations that, especially on the subject we were talking about prior to recording. So look out for that, people. That's coming up. That's some deep stuff, man.
That's going to be interesting. I'm glad. I mean, we're in interesting times, man. It's we could be entering into an age of enlightenment, man. We could all be like starting to evolve. It's quite possible. So
hey, I was thinking, I was telling my wife, actually I was joking about this on my live stream maybe 2 weekends ago, and I was like, maybe the Mayans had it wrong. Maybe it wasn't 2012 but 2021. Maybe they superimposed.
Well, since you said you study stuff, have you ever looked into the Ethiopian Bible and or the Ethiopian calendar?
No.
The Ethiopian calendar is more like the Coptic calendar. I think we use the Gregorian.
Yeah,
right?
We use Gregorian.
But I think based off the Ethiopian calendar, we are in the year 2012.
Shut up.
No, I'm serious, dude. Like this is something that was told to me recently, and I've looked into it. So check out what I'm saying. Look into. Ethiopia's got some interesting history.
I love Ethiopian women, so that's they're beautiful.
Yeah, look into the Ethiopian calendar and see what
I'm gonna check that
date
out.
is.
Wow, I didn't know that. See,
yeah,
learning something new, man.
And so because the reason I'm doing the Rice Report, I've got a show that I'm calling Stranger Than Fiction, where I'm talking about things that are unproven, some conspiracy theory and woo-woo type stuff. And then the Rice Crypto show is going to be all about crypto, blockchain, and technology. So it gives me an opportunity to separate stuff for those who don't like certain topics.
Right.
And I've kind of ignored economics for a little bit just because I've been covering so much other things as far as content. I've been keeping up on it. And it's not that it's been boring. It's just been kind of a lot of stretched out of nothing with some things kind of happening over the past month or so with the SPVs, maybe a little over a month ago, but the SPVs being introduced, and then what the announcement that took place on Tuesday from the Fed, from Jerome Powell. I wanted to get your perspective on that so I can get better clarification on what that announcement was exactly about, because it sounded like the Fed's going to be able to invest in stocks and bonds of companies now that are at least 5 years old, I think is what it said, or something.
There's a set of criteria that they have, but we all know that that's just an illusion. The goalposts will move. It has in the past, and it will continue to move. So it doesn't matter what their set of criteria may be at the beginning of this corporate bond buying program. They'll just change it. So it doesn't matter. The cat is out the bag, and they're now basically monetizing or allowing corporate entities to run rampant and have an unlimited amount of money at their disposal.
Yeah.
Right. So when if I'm a corporation, I create a bond, I go sell that bond to raise cash. Well, if I can go right to the Fed and they're going to buy everything that I issue as a new corporate bond, then it's just free money.
No, I
It's
feel
free
you.
money, man. And it's different than issuing new stock because that dilutes the price of the of that particular stock. And, Wall Street doesn't want to do that. The execs don't want to have that happen, right? That's just not right. So why not do it in the way of a bond where it's an IOU and they'll never pay it back? Or if they
Okay.
have to, it's at near zero interest rate. It's free money.
So between the SPVs and this announcement on Tuesday, like, where do you think that, like, what is the purpose of this? What are they trying to do? Because it looks very much, and I've said this to you before, like the definition of fascism. Like, they're almost trying to be able to buy up companies and have ownership and stake in some of these companies as well. Do you take that perspective?
Not necessarily. I don't think that their goal is to own these companies. Their goal is to keep the illusion that these companies are solvent. Okay, that's to me the whole point. Uh, in doing that, yeah, they may end up owning a lot of the. Well, see, that's again the bonds. You don't necessarily own the company. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Okay.
it's not, if they were doing a direct purchase of the outstanding or float of shares, then yeah, they could own a percentage of the company. But with a bond, there's no ownership there unless they go into a bankruptcy scenario where possibly the Federal Reserve will have first dibs on any assets that were sold, like in
Okay.
the case of Hertz, right? If they did that, we can talk about Hertz and that whole situation and how a federal judge just allowed them to continue to sell their shares, knowing those shares are worthless.
Yeah.
Why do that to people?
I don't know. I don't know why it's allowed, and I've heard some information that's been leaked about, because I know that they've mentioned during the stimulus package when they gave most of the U.S. citizens an average of $1,200 a piece federally, that there was a lot of money that was given to corporations, but the information was disclosed as to what corporations, who the money was given to, and how much. And apparently, some of that was leaked out somehow. I'm not sure how valid it was, but talking about politicians, congressmen, and senators who have businesses that were taking full advantage of these business loans and things like that.
Absolutely.
It's
Absolutely.
just, and people aren't questioning the fact that they're giving all this money, and at the same time saying that we don't want you to know who or what we're giving this money to. And nobody, like, just the general, even like, you would think somebody on the mainstream media, somebody would like be talking about this kind of stuff, and it's just like, it's a complete
No, not on
opposite.
mainstream media. And, that's my concern, and where I have some level of like despair and no hope for this country, man, because our citizens aren't aware of any of this stuff that's going on. So we got to start there. They're so caught up on what's going on with a lot of the coronavirus stuff, the pandemic. These are real situations. The killing of George Floyd, real situations. Um, a lot of the message behind it, I agree with, but they have so much on their plate, they can't even begin to think about,
Yeah,
trying to educate themselves about what the Federal Reserve is doing.
I know.
They
I know
just want
it's
that check. They want to be able to bridge themselves while they're unemployed. We've got the CARES Act that came out initially, and I always say, Rice, whatever they call these bills, Patriot Act
going to give
and
it
the
a really cool
CARES Act,
name.
just invert it, right? So the Unpatriotic Act,
The
which is,
I don't care Act.
yeah, the CARES I Don't Care About You Act is what that one is. And now we have the Heroes Act, which is the $3 trillion bill that has actually gone through the House already and now is in Senate. That is going to extend another round of checks to Americans. I think it's going to be up to $6,000 for a family of five. And they're going to try to extend the unemployment portion of that for people that get the $600 a month. Though it looks like in the Senate, they're trying to chop that down to maybe 300 to 350 a month, not a month, a week,
Right.
for those individuals to kind of spur some motivation to get back to work. But it's all of this is being done to bridge us between the worst depression we've experienced because of this pandemic. That's all this is doing. It's trying to fill the pool up with money to allow us to swim across to the other side, man. That's what it's all about.
How long do you think that they can actually keep printing up money and propping up these markets before this thing just like literally just like implodes on itself?
So I think it can go for a very long.
I've heard many different things.
Very long time. Very long time. And the reason is because we're now doing what's called MMT. We're literally implementing
modern money theory.
Yeah, modern monetary theory is no longer theory. It's MMP is what I call it now. Modern monetary practice. And we're doing it. So essentially is print as much money from the Treasury, or the Fed issues to the Treasury. The Treasury issues that money out into various programs. And we're seeing that. CARES Act, HEROES Act. There's going to be a lot of infrastructural stuff done to fix roads and bridges that we do need done. But all that is going to be pumped literally into the economy, into the system. And I don't see an end in sight. I don't see like this crash that's going to just reset everything anytime soon. You hear people preaching that. No. Okay. No. I don't, man. So with MMT, they will print money as long as inflation is under control.
Right, but what happens when we have a point of inflation like we're not talking even hyperinflation, just high form of inflation like Japan?
Well, no, Japan doesn't have.
They have a really high form of inflation because their yen used to be worth so much more than it is now. They were printing up a lot more money at one period of time.
Yeah, but it's not transitory. You're not seeing it it's not being transferred into the services and goods that we purchase. So you do have different forms of inflation, and that type of inflation where our the cost of milk and our daily essentials go up. I don't see that happening, and if it does, again, they will inject enough money for our wages to go up with it. So it won't look as bad. It won't, relatively speaking, won't be as bad.
Okay.
So, but once, you start seeing inflation get out of hand, they'll start to extract that money, that liquidity. That's the whole theory behind MMT.
Expand and contrast.
Right. They'll try to do that. What happens? Who knows? It probably end up in a disaster. But I don't see that happening, man, for a while. I don't see that 5 years, 10 years.
So you just think this thing's just going to keep going?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I do.
Well, then
it's not, fear porn is a bestseller,
I'm a realist and you're a realist. That's why I wanted to have this conversation with you, man. I wanted to get your perspective. With all the stimulus money and the money that the federal government and all the unemployment stuff going on, and we're obviously going to see a loss of jobs. You're going to see a lot of businesses that are going out of business, that will go out of business. So, I mean, do you see something like universal basic income coming into play?
It's essentially what we have now. It's
maybe not temporary. Permanent. Right. I'm talking about permanent UBI.
Sure. Absolutely. And the reason is because I think this virus in its second and third waves, we're not even done with the first wave. But when that second wave hits, you've already got bars and stuff in Florida having to shut back down because they've had outbreaks in the bars. So,
well, what does something like that do to the people in low income areas that are going to have to rely on this UBI for the most part? Because that's what I'm going to be seeing a lot of is going to be like people who are working in restaurants and service industry and those type of jobs, and it tends to be a lot of lower income areas, not like any particular demographic. But like, how do you think people having to be reliant upon
1984, baby? It's just, now that you're relying on the government, you're going to have to do what they tell you to do. you know?
You seem calm about it, man. How does this make you feel?
Um, because I'm proactive. I'm not the one that's going to be, relying on the government. I'm going to be the one on the other side building businesses that will grow with the inflation. So that's what I tell people: start a business so that that's how you will be able to protect yourself, your family from the inflation. Because as the prices rise, if they do begin to rise out of control, you will just raise your prices with it. So
Okay.
there is some hedge there in that regard. I'm not saying it's easy just to go out and start a business, but that's an approach I would take. Of
Right.
course, assets, hard assets, uh, you know, um, precious metals, crypto, of course, I think is going to do very well. Even stocks will do well.
Oh yeah,
Um,
if they're putting out this much money in the system, there's no
yeah,
reason the
there's
stock
no
market
reason
won't do
why the
good.
stock market, right? Exactly. But the thing is, I believe that cryptos will go up at a faster pace, percentage wise, than even stocks will. So
Well, that's a good
I'm playing.
segue.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you your opinions on, where you thought, with everything going on, like how you felt crypto, Bitcoin specifically, were going to be acting in regards. Like, it seems like there's a lot of, especially this year, it seems like Bitcoin has been following a lot of what the stock market's been doing, the traditional
Yep.
markets. And it's understandable because of the point we're on right now. We're at like a risk on, risk off. We're not sure where
Yes.
we're at. So it makes sense that
Yes.
everything's volatile, because if you look at 2008, when everything was starting to get all weird, everybody was getting into dollar bills and they were getting out of everything. And essentially that was what that looked like. But once that dust started settling is when people started going back to their safe haven assets like your gold and silver. And now we have crypto. And I feel
Hmm.
like crypto was made as an answer to get away from fiat money. So how do you think it's going to react in that aspect? And do you see the potential idea of being Bitcoin being used as a revolutionary tool by the people against the government, because you have people out there educating people now about the power of Bitcoin and the power of what it could do, decentralized cryptocurrencies, to fiat money, because of the control system that we have that's based off our monetary. Like, to give you an example, Zay's book,
Hmm.
that whole mentality, um, it's what, Black America and Bitcoin. Is that the correct title?
Yeah. Bitcoin and Black America or
Okay.
something like that. Yeah.
That message, there's a message in there that basically says, you can take one portion of the power away from the powers that be by not using their money.
Sure.
I
Sure.
mean, do you see like the revolutionary thing playing out? I guess we'll just save that for after. But how do you see Bitcoin and crypto playing out over the next course of the next couple of years, short term and long term?
Okay. Short term. I mean, I just think it's going to be kind of tied to a positive correlation with the stock market. So my whole thing, how I put it to my audience is that, do you think that the Federal Reserve will allow the stock market to crash? If your answer is no, then you need to be buying crypto because cryptos and stocks will continually head higher, and crypto will head higher at an even faster pace than stocks. So I think you're going to see Bitcoin reach that target for this, that plan B put out from the stock to flow
Okay.
of $200,000 Bitcoin in the next 2 years, easily.
So you definitely agree with the plan B stock to flow model.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I do, but at the same time, Rice, it's like it's not going to liberate and free the people because they won't even be in it. It goes back to my statement just a minute ago where I was saying that most people don't even they don't have time to think about learning about a new fiat or cryptocurrency, a new asset class, when they don't even understand the current asset class
Right.
of fiat money
No, I get it. I do.
and
We're
gold.
kind
You
of big
get,
nerds in a way.
yeah, we are, and we're in the echo chamber. Yeah, I've watched for years these precious metals guys. It's all echo chamber, and so people don't. I go to the hood right now and give a dude a bar of troy ounce of gold. Man, they're not gonna know it's worth what, $1,600,
No,
$1,700?
especially if you put like a small bag of crack in front of it, like and say,
Right.
which
I'm gonna
one do
take
you
the
want?
crack.
Or
I'm
or
gonna
a,
take the
or
crack.
a bottle of malt liquor or something
Or what?
in a gold bar, or
Right.
even silver. Yeah, I get it, man. Because yeah, people just don't understand the value of money. But it's, I mean, it's sad that it's
But you
not as
have
if
to
it's their
approach it
fault.
that
But
way because if you don't, if you live in a la la land and you think gold is going to go to, I don't know where people, I've heard so many, what, 10,000, 100, I don't know what's the like going
I mean, I've
consensus on
heard
gold going
somewhere
to.
around like 10 to 15,000 should be the actual price of gold if it wasn't being manipulated by the derivatives market.
Okay, so yeah, that's to
Because
me, man.
everything that's being traded, it's paper. It's not the
Yeah, it's a
actual
paper's
gold. It's
market on
not
the,
people are trading back bars back and forth.
no, it's all on the COMEX, but that's a centralized exchange.
Right.
Now, one could say, well, they're going to do the same thing with Bitcoin. Well, the great thing about Bitcoin is that there are thousands of exchanges where price discovery can happen in a natural or more natural way. Not saying it won't be a manipulation in this market. There totally is. There's a manipulation in any free market. That's what people conflate. They think that a free market doesn't
Well,
have manipulation.
we don't actually know what the free market is because all markets are manipulated and controlled in some fashion, like they're regulated.
Well, no, that's what I'm
The
saying. Like,
black market, like when you go to the hood, and you could find some stuff, that's the free market.
yeah, but there's manipulation in that as well. There
But
can be
that's
manipulation in that.
right.
So
I mean,
what I'm saying is when people say a market is manipulated, they're saying it's like a mutually exclusive thing, meaning it can only be manipulated if it's not a free market and not be manipulated if it is a free market. I'm saying that you can have a free market and have manipulation.
most definitely,
You get what I'm saying?
especially if you have enough money.
Exactly. And there are some whales in crypto that
Yeah,
have enough money, either be it individuals or exchanges,
this
that definitely
market is
manipulate the
small,
market. But
definitely
what I'm
small.
saying is price discovery over the long term will be very close to free market because there is no one centralized place for you to trade Bitcoin.
Right, where
Trade
like
it
you have
all over
the COMEX is the one place that's
exactly.
right. I get it.
Exactly.
JP Morgan controls a lot of the silver derivatives.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it has
So
that controller, that centralized aspect.
yep. So that's the key differentiator with crypto to me, Rice, is that you're going to see that price explode. You may see $5,000 gold, but would you want to buy gold at $1,700 and see it go to 5,000, or buy Bitcoin at $9,300 and see it go to $200,000? And not even talk about the altcoins. That's a whole nother. You pick the right altcoin, man. You could see a 1,000x return.
I've been involved with Divi since middle of December of last year, and it's I think had close to a 400% gain since then.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's nice when you can see something that seems like it's actually a value and going to do something more than just be speculative. But
I
again,
see
when you're
Bitcoin being shield Divi, I've never even looked into it, but I saw a lot of.
there's some cool aspects to it, man. I can I don't obviously want to use this episode to shield
Right.
Divi, but I can go over some of the pro points, and I'm
Sure.
trying to pay attention to what they're going to be developing. But I think that they have some kind of deal with Facebook, with WhatsApp and Facebook Messenger as one of the accepted cryptos is going to be launched soon. And they also have they bought a fintech company. So you have a centralized company that utilizes the decentralized cryptocurrency, which you can have. And they purchased a fintech company, so they could do iBanking. Basically, it's not exactly the same as regular banking, but they can issue debit cards, and they're going to have atomic swaps built into their wallet, so you can switch between Divi and different cryptocurrencies and eventually stable coins. And then they're trying to keep everything simple with the one-click master node, and they're going to allow all this on their mobile version when it launches. So you'll actually be able to run a master node.
See, the issue that I see with the going forward in crypto and our sales pitch to the masses about alleviating the banking system, transactions instant, and all that is I always have to bring up the Fed is working on a program called Fed Now. and FedNow will be rolling out in 2023 or 24, which will replace the ACH system. Okay, it will run what they call an RTP, which is real-time payment system. And so,
ACH, is that Swift?
no, it's not Swift.
Okay,
No,
because I know that Chainlink has been working with Swift and is revising the
Swift, I
Swift
think,
system.
is your international,
Okay.
wiring and stuff across borders.
Chainlink is trying to work with them. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Ultimately, crypto kind of started out with this get away from the bank, be your own bank mentality. Now it seems to be shifting into melding with the traditional financial system. I mean, you have Joseph Lubin with one of the founders of Ethereum with Consensus. They've got white papers out where they're structuring out CBDCs, the central bank digital currencies. You've got people at former employees and current employees at Coinbase that are helping the treasury out with looking at into the digital dollar.
Yeah.
What is the lady's name who was in charge of Backed? She's married. She was a politician for.
Yeah, she's
still
over.
is.
She's a senator now in
Yeah.
Georgia.
What's do you know her name
I
offhand?
forgot.
She got appointed to work at I think under Trump, maybe at the Treasury, but something to do with it. So he's bringing in these crypto people. So
no, I don't think Trump is for crypto though.
No, but I know, but the digital dollar's coming. Central bank digital currencies are coming.
Right. So the thing is, and that kind of sets me up for what I was saying as far as the FedNow. The FedNow will be the underlining mechanism or infrastructure for a digital dollar, because if you look at FedNow, just go research it. It is basically the infrastructure for a digital currency. You'll have instantaneous transactions. If I send you money through traditional banking.
If I'm not mistaken, it's really similar to XRP Ripple's kind of concept.
Exactly. Hence why XRP is not necessary, because they're not going to be used. They're building their own. They're not going to need XRP token. The company may do well and they've been acquiring various companies, but the token won't be of any use to me. That's just my opinion. You can take it or leave it, but man, they're essentially having a real-time payment system that's going to roll out in 2023. And it's literally like, if I send you something, it won't be on me. Like right now with a check, if I write a check and I send it to you and you cash it and it bounces back, it's kind of the onus is on you, right? Yeah. You've got a negative balance now. With the new system, it's going to be instantaneous. Once that transaction gets to your bank account, it can't be taken back. So it sounds a lot like crypto, right? That's the same concept. And that's one of the selling points we've been,
Except for we're talking about a centralized system that would be.
It's absolutely centralized.
And it'd be completely under surveillance, where everything you do under that system is going to be known. There's no way.
Yes, which is the same thing.
How am I going to be like buying my herb from my dude? Like,
you're going to be using your crypto.
But how does that work if we're trying to like be cool about it? Because I live in North Carolina and it's illegal.
Well, if you're using crypto, then it's circumventing this new FedNow system.
Well, maybe my dude will. I've been asking him about crypto, so maybe eventually he'll start doing the crypto route, because until it gets legal here in the state, I got to do what I got to do. And I was kind of using Cash App for a minute.
You don't want to do that.
Yeah, and that was only twice. Not that that's it's all good, but it's whatever. Yeah. But you know what I'm getting at.
But I've heard of people's Cash Apps and other accounts being shut down from what they call suspicious activity and stuff. So but the thing is, we're already being surveilled already. We're used to it. Facebook is the biggest surveillance system ever, and you got.
We've been in kindergarten surveillance. Like, we're going into first grade now. Yeah, they're putting us through phases for sure.
Yep, exactly.
For sure, man. Well, one last real quick question I wanted to ask you, man, is your thoughts on people who are talking about. It's a combination question that the Federal Reserve is being absorbed into the Treasury and being ended, and then the idea that there may be a potential gold-backed currency being launched in the United States. What do you think? give
Not
me
gonna
thoughts or
happen.
suggestions on
Nope,
either end.
not gonna happen. Nope. So the Federal Reserve, in my opinion, has been absorbed by the Treasury, but not to end it, but to give the Treasury more power.
Okay.
And to give the Fed more power, I should say.
Sort of like
That
a tag team,
absorption,
as like a tag team, and makes them stronger.
it makes them stronger because now they're under the purview of the Treasury, which now again can allow them to implement MMT.
Which makes them also a government entity at this point too. And
Sort of quasi
I think the website now has been changed over to a .gov, which is kind of
has it.
interesting. Yeah, you should check that out. But I think it's been
Wow.
changed to a .gov.
Yeah, so no, not to absorb and eliminate it, but to absorb and boost the powers up. And that's where people really get it confused. I think they want one thing because they've been pushing this narrative for so long that Trump is getting. Now again, I think Trump has drained the swamp in many various aspects when it comes to deep state stuff, but when it comes to deep state and money, no. No, he loves that. So he loves cheap money. He's going to continue to print, and because these politicians they don't have any power without money. They need the money. So why would they back and restrict themselves? Would they go back anything? Doesn't make sense.
No,
It's not going to happen.
It doesn't. Well, dude, man, I really appreciate your perspective on all this, man. I think it's been a really good conversation, and it's been awesome catching up with you. I always enjoyed talking with you, man. And for people who might be unfamiliar, in case they don't know that you're a content creator, I'm going to put links down below. Make sure you're subscribed to Crypto Blood's YouTube channel. He puts out some really cool content. Did you have any final thoughts before we wrap up, man?
No, man, I think the whole theme that kind of what we've been talking about, CBDCs, I always want to say CBD.
Yeah.
But is on the way. We've got Thailand, we've got China, we've got Cambodia, the US talking about it. And I think FedNow will be the rail system for that. We've got Canada, we've got Bank of Korea, South Korea's so all these countries are definitely fastly moving towards that direction, and it will come. It definitely will come, but I think it will still, at some point, more people. It may be a trickle effect, Rice, where people over time really slowly realize, hey, I want to be able to, like with what you just said, buy your cannabis without being traced. People are going to start doing that stuff. And so the black market, they used to say it was all black market and tried to put that narrative on cryptos. But honestly, the future is going to have a bigger black market in cryptos than anything than in the past. So that's it, man. That's it. Just check me out, Crypto Blood _ on Twitter. And
I'll have the links down below for sure.
We'll put the links down there. Yeah,
I got you, man. And we always do a lot of stuff. In my playlist, I have other appearances playlist, and you can see the times that I've been on CB shows as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna get your Rice back on. Not next weekend. We'll talk offline, but in the next coming weekends, and get you back on the Off the Chain live streams. Those are always a blast. About 2 hours of just real talk.
It's always a fun time. It's always fun. I won't even go into it, but to wrap it up, ladies and gentlemen, this is your first time ever watching any of my content. I do encourage you to explore my channel, and if you do like what I'm doing, you can support me by subscribing, smashing that like button. I encourage you to hit the notification bell so you can stay up to date with my videos as they come out. Check out my Patreon channel where you can support me directly, and I post exclusive content. And also follow me on Library where I post extra videos as well. Gonna have links down below. And as always, I encourage you to be the change by practicing change.
Holla. All right, there you go, people. Hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And also go over to Rice Crypto's channel and subscribe there as well. I'll leave a link in the description below. I'm out of here, people. Holla. Tim Ferriss with a new